Tony Morell. Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Morell, and this week's guest is Jon Edge.
Thanks for having me on, Tony.
Nice one for coming, Jon. Thank you very much. Listen, just want to hear your stories from sharing the good, the bad and the ugly, mate. And how's things anyway?
Cool, mate. I'm good. I'm all good. Made up to be here. Let's get the show on the road.
No, but listen, I'm looking forward to it, mate. I know you've got some big stories from, like I say, the good, the bad and the ugly. So I want to go back to where it all started for you, from like your childhood and stuff like that, and where you grew up.
Cool. Well, I grew up in Gattaca. I was born in 1979. My mum and dad split up when I was 2, so I don't really remember my dad being around in the house. He moved to Runcorn, Castlefields, and then he moved over to Altenbrook. So where he bought the house with my mum in Gattaca, and to be honest, it sounds like all posh because you've been all Liverpool. Gattaca's like a posh area. Yeah, fuck all that. You know what I mean? So we were like in this little fucking cottage with absolutely fucking nothing. You know what I mean? My mum had the demons. She had the drink problem, alcoholic. So that was hard on its own. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being a single mother of 2 kids. And then my dad would pick us up on the weekend and we come up to Runcorn. But like, we had it hard, if you know what I mean, because obviously growing up where we grew up, not having no money and everyone around just got loads of fucking money.
Yeah.
But it was fucking hard, you know what I mean? And then over the weekend, my dad would come and pick us up, take us up to fucking Runcorn, and we didn't fit in there.
Yeah.
Because we weren't there all week. So the kids are like, it was like part-time in both places. And then my dad, he was just one of these hard-working fellas. He worked in Fords all his life.
Yeah.
And he could be a bit strict, you know what I mean? He was like a bit hard on us, well, hard on me anyway, when we were kids. But that was because he got it hard from his dad. Do you know what I mean? His dad was a fucking horrible cunt, by all accounts. Of all his family, his sisters and all that, all said he used to fucking not fuck hard on me dad, you know what I mean? But then he could do the same too much, you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. He's a fucking boss fella, loads of bits. But,
did you find it hard, Jon, obviously,
yeah,
as a kid? Because I think we can relate to some...
Fucking hell, mate. When growing up, fucking very hard. I mean, I don't know what, most people are with their dad, but I was fucking terrified, man. Terrified, mate. You know what I mean? Like, fucking scared the fucking life out of me. I thought one day he was going to fucking kill me. I was about... He moved to Altenbrook. I must have been about 11. And we were fighting in the kitchen, mate. And he fucking leathered me, like. You know, he fucking leathered me, mate. And I fucking thought he was gonna fucking kill me. And I ran off into the fucking, the downstairs fucking toilet. I ran off and locked the fucking door. And he was banging on the door, I swear to God, mate. It was like a fucking scene out of The Shining. But I was terrified.
Yeah,
I was fucking terrified for my life, do you know what I mean? And I look back now and I was like, I was only about 11. And like,
it's them times when you think, I mean, I can relate myself what you're saying, with your family, your mum should have said, having a drink problem, I was the same, and you just think you don't fit in, or you feel like the odd one out, and you just think to yourself, no, is this are we normal?
Well, to me it was normal, because that was all I knew. Yeah. You know what I mean? From like growing up, that's all I knew. My mum was like, my mum was a bit, you know what I mean? But she was like a Jekyll and Hyde, my mum. You know what I mean? You could go in the door 1 minute and, you smell fucking cooking and everything's like, boss. And next minute you go in, you're walking into a fucking war zone. And like, you never knew which way to go with me, man. Like,
pretty similar to like me, myself. I was like, 1 minute you'd come home from school and that next minute there was fucking no one in.
Yeah, I mean, fucking had those days that I'd come home and she wasn't in.
Yeah.
I had to smash the window.
Or climbing through a window or whatever,
I smashed the window in the back. And it was that often that like we stopped getting it fixed. We just used to board it up because we used to climb through all the fucking time, do you know what I mean? So there was times like it was fucking rough. Like I was pretty grown up when I was young. I was used to cooking my tea and doing my own washing and my ironing and stuff like that.
How old was your younger brother at the time? How many of you just your man?
So there was me and my sister, Patty.
Yeah.
That was in our house. And then when my dad split up with my mum, that's a whole different story, that. But he ended up having 3 kids, Emma, Matthew and Jason. So I'm Matty and Jason, and they're all younger than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a whole different story how that got started. That's a different podcast, that, you know what I mean? Proper. It was like, that's fucking wild in itself. But back to myself, yeah, it was pretty hard. When I was 15, I met my Mrs. Sarah, who I'm still with now. And she was the one who actually pointed it out to me and said, look, this isn't fucking normal, this. You know what I mean? Like, she was coming down to ours and it was like, my mom's pissed again. And she was like, this is not normal. So I actually moved in with her.
Yeah.
She took me in. And then what happened, my mum used to phone up, giving me shit like
because you wasn't at home and stuff like that.
Because her mum took me in.
Because did you feel like it was a normal family where
when I moved, that's when I realised then. That's when I realised it was like it wasn't fucking normal.
Yeah.
You know, and then other things that happened to me, it was like it wasn't normal. It wasn't a normal childhood.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I started to see what normal was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a fucking scary childhood. It was like very insecure in the way I grew up.
But to you, that was normal, wasn't it? That's just like a normal. That's what you know. And
there was things that happened to me when I was younger. I remember like I had met with a few people because I actually lived in Runcorn for a while. I actually went to Grange for a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, I got knocked down with a bad firm. People up to all sorts, robbing on cars and all sorts of shit. And one of them had actually went to jail for something. And someone had ended up saying something, bit of shit's there and whatever. And he got out, like a young offenders thing. And he was after me, this kid. Now, the only reason I'm bringing it up because it goes back to something where a few years ago I was suffering with bad anxiety, right? But I didn't realise I've had this from a child. I've had this anxiety because when this lad was after me, I couldn't sleep at night.
You were just thinking about it.
Because what this lad was, right, he was about 3 years older than me. So when you're 14,
you fucking petrified, you shit yourself, aren't you?
And what happened was, he sent someone up to the house for me, a mate of mine. And
to get you out the house or something? Or
what he said to me was, he said, but when the lads knocked for me, I've gone, what's happening? And he went, look, this lad's just said, fucking knocked for you, he's watching. But my mum used to live down this little sly little road in Fantasic. It was like this little alleyway. He said, he's watching there. He wants me to take you down to the bar so we can stab you. And I was like, yeah, just say you can't come out. And I've gone, yeah. Oh, fucking hell, he wants to stab me. I'm fucking hell, man.
And you're a kid, how old are you, 14?
Mad. The fucking view about what was said mustn't even come from me. It just sits there and like jangling when it got round. So anyway, I'm fucking terrified now. So every time I bump into this lad, it'd go off. And like, but obviously he was a bit older, a bit stronger, and he could have a go with this kid. Anyway, about a year or so passed, maybe 2. And I'm walking down the road, and I forget, I was walking down my ma's road. My ma's like a little spooky road, and that's it, like this spooky thing. And me and my parents are fucking stoned. We were only about 15, 16. 2 bikes turn the corner. I thought, wouldn't this be mad now if this was that lad? Fucking was. Dead edgy. Oh, shit. Said to me, bear, fucking go to ours. Thought I'm getting it here. Getting a stab line. Thought I was fucking getting it. Thought the last thing I want to be fucking bear being there. So anyway, she wouldn't go, and I told her to fucking go. And he said, look, forget about it. Shook me hand, we sorted it all out, you know what I mean? For the next few months, this kid kept coming up and seeing me, sorting it out. A few months later, he got done for murdering. Murdered someone, mate. 25 years he got, you know what I mean? And like, I kept thinking to myself,
that could have been
me, that. Do you know what
only
I mean?
for your friend who's knocked and you know.
And I'm fucking mad as well, because you know, I said there was 2 bikes. The other bike was my mate. You know what I mean? Because he was out grafting with him.
Yeah.
And like, fucking, and he just gave me this wing because he had to say, I fucking sorted that for you. And I was like, fucking hell, that. You know what I mean?
But then when you see that, someone's been murdered and he's took someone's life, it's a different, like, you think to yourself, that could have been you.
Crazy. And then fucking, even worse again, like, mad again. I think he ended up doing about 15 years. When he got out, we actually became mates. You know what I mean? He actually started working for me and, like, you know, getting out some more shenanigans.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy how it all panned out, you know what I mean? Because I was fucking terrified of this kid, you know what I mean? Fucking terrified. But it panned out that it was fucking, it was true, you know what I mean? That, you know, the thing, and then where he wants to do that to me, happened to Mandy Jameson's lad. So that's why when that story come about and I heard about it, it just
brought it all back to you.
Back to me, because that was where, because obviously that's where I live around the corner from, I live just off Fantasic House,
yeah.
Road, this little road, and whenever we had like to-dos or fights or anything, it used to be on the Texaco field on the rally,
yeah,
and that was where it was, and it's where he wanted to fucking get me up. You know what I mean? It was
and it's mad that obviously now, which we'll get into with your podcast, Fighting Demons, Mandy, you had on, that you can talk about this, and then what's happened to her son, which was horrific, you know what I mean? But like I say, that's just crazy. Just growing up as a kid and you're petrified.
You know what I mean? It's like, the thing about it was, it brought it all back to me about, when we grew up, the problems that I had, I never had it that day.
Yeah, you had no figure to go to or
help me, to guide me. So any mistakes I was doing, I never had no one to say, oh, wait there, lad, don't do that.
Rein it in a little bit or whatever.
Because I was only a shy kid. I wasn't like this big loud thing that I am now. I wasn't like that at all. That come out of me through being bullied, and then everything come out then. And once I started fighting back, I didn't fucking hold back.
Well, that's what I was going to get on to. You like sports and hobbies, what was you into as you got a little bit older?
See, as a kid, I wasn't into anything like that.
You was not, no?
Nah, I wasn't into sport. I was fucking shit at footy. Fucking hell. I was like the last one picked, you know what I mean? Getting goals, even shit in there, you know what I mean? It was terrible. Like, I wasn't even gifted, like, when it comes to, like, running or anything like that. I wasn't gifted.
But you're just not interested at all?
I was interested. It comes back to that thing of, like, not having no parents there, no one to
give you a little nudge.
Like I remember saying to my dad, "We take me here, take me there," and he was whatever. Do you know what I mean? But so with me, I never had none of that. My uncle was involved in boxing, and my mum never wanted me to do boxing because I got like bad ears. I'm deaf in one ear, so like there was always that thing of like she just didn't want me getting hurt. Do you know what I mean?
I think like most mums, anyone who boxes, they don't want the fucking son to box, do they? But
and my auntie was the same. My auntie Cathy, she didn't want me to do it neither. But I think I gravitated towards it because obviously I was involved in the rave scene. Do you know what I mean? I got into the rave scene. So when I was 15, I went out to the Hard Dock and we got involved in all that. And my mates were like DJs, so I just started getting into them scene. So that was our thing then. That was like my thing of what I had a fucking goal. I wanted to be the big MC and do all that. But what come with that was all the partying. It was all the drugs.
The drugs that comes with it all.
And it was just like, I was young.
So from a young age, you're around all, and that's where it just went,
because I was like dead addictive. I was like, I'll be on it.
You're in or you're not.
Yeah. So
it's one of them.
That was the thing for me. And then what happened was we were getting into like sort of the later 90s, around 98, and my missus got pregnant, and I knew I needed to do something. I needed to change my life because to me, I always thought that like the DJing and the MCing was always going to pay off, but I caught the back end of it. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't in the early 90s. I was like 94, 95, 96. So it was like, it was like not tying out, but it was.
Well, wasn't it? Yeah. Towards the end, like the drone and the Hard Dock and
all the drone. Because I actually worked in the drone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I took over from Cyanide in, I think it was 96, but as I say, it was coming to an end. It wasn't like we...
What a mad place the drone was.
Oh, mate, it's crazy.
But you know what, though? Crazy. Like you say, I think we've had this chat before about it, but you meet some, like, people who you're still friends with now. Do you know? Yeah. I remember us being, like, 15, 16, coming from Runcorn all the way to Birkenhead. And now you got there, you didn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? You just, whether it was on the bus, it was on the train, it was in the... And like I said, one of the lads passed the test and we were just... And you're going and all the carry-on that comes with it, like you say, from an early age... Same like yourself and myself, you can relate to where some of my mates couldn't go home. Yeah. Where I could go home because my mum didn't give a fuck, mate. Yeah, you know what I mean? I could. So if I was fucking either pissed or, what I mean? It was no one to sort of like where they'd be fucking. So everyone would come back to my house and be there for a day or so. Didn't have to go home. They'd all be sound. They'd go home and whatever. But I think some of the best times growing up, it's like. We all went from the drone and all that to the 051, but like you say, the scene in Liverpool was just...
Yeah, it was bouncing like back then, know what I mean? But it was like, for me, like I loved all that, do you know what I mean? I loved it all, but when I knew it weren't going to like pay off, I thought, I need to do something different here. Do you know what I mean? And everyone was doing the same shit. They were all grafting and doing whatever. And it was just, I thought, you know what I mean? I'm going to be a dad. So I actually like started looking into doing the fitness stuff and get, you know, going down that avenue. I started kickboxing, started getting into fitness, and I started like, when I looked at that, it never really had like a sort of career, a paying career, you know what I mean? So that's when I started doing the fitness instructor, and then I worked in the council and stuff like that, and started going down that route. But then like, it all came creeping back in then, because when you sort of leave the rave scene and you leave and that sort of, it was like they were my mates. So then I went into like the kickboxing and that, it was like a new thing. It was like it was a total different types of people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it was like got on with them in like the, you know, the training side of it. But I still had that in my head about like with the drugs and stuff, do you know what I mean? So
it was hard to come away from what you knew.
Yeah, that's all.
When you got into like the kickboxing and all that.
That was all I knew. Do you know, some of these kids have been kickboxing all their lives. So I was like 18. Do you know what I mean?
Sort of like a late. It's coming to the table.
When I got into fighting, I was basically a senior. I never fought as a junior or a kid. I fought as an adult.
That's a fucking bit. I mean, that kickboxing.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a tough sport.
Yeah, like, it was from when I started in kickboxing, and then like when we moved over into like the Thai boxing and Carbon, Colin and stuff like that was fucking brutal, mate. That was like next level. Do you know what I mean? Like kickboxing on its own's hard enough, but like when you like
sparring was like a proper fight. It was like,
listen, mate, when you're sparring world champions, and you know what I mean. It was kill or be killed, and it was like, you know, there was no.
That's all you know.
That's all you know. You just got fucking fed to the lines. You know what I mean? So it was like what I learned in a few years when I was in Carbon. I think I was in Carbon for about 4 years, and the trainers, sometimes we train like 5-6 hours a day. You know what I mean? We were fucking killing.
But with fellas, I think what it is, you've got that. What's seem about you having, you know, if you're around like people and stuff, you want to impress, you want to, you know, it's a man thing, isn't it?
With Colin, listen, like, you couldn't impress him, you know what I mean? He was just like, no matter what you thought you'd done to impress him, it weren't good enough. You know what I mean? He was definitely the person that like would always break you. Do you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't give you fuck all.
Would he get the best out of it?
Oh, mate, not that. Like,
some of the people he's trained, you know what I mean?
He churns out champions, you know what I mean? Churns them out because it's the training's brutal. You know what I mean? The training. The
extent you've got to go to push your body to that limit, is it? Or is it just...
It's just the amount of training that you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, the training, you know, when I was fighting for him, you're having like sort of low-level novice fights, but you're training with like world champions. And they're training for like world titles. So you're doing the same training as we're like in pro boxing. If you're fighting like a 4-round fight, you're training for a 4-round fight. You know what I mean? I would sort of put it is that like you were training for a 12-round world title fight for a 4-round.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot out of you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it was to me anyway, because I was fucking burnt out. You know what I mean? When I was there.
It's mad, isn't it? You know, I think we've had this conversation as well where I think, you know, you made a lot of friends in the, you know, on the kickboxing side of things, and I think we spoke about it. You know, there was someone in particular, I can't remember who it was we spoke about, and he was there. He was a big influence on you. I think I can't remember the guy's name, but we've spoke about it. I think he played a big part in, you know, I'm not too sure he's still here with us or whatever. I think it was.
Oh, Matt Goulden.
Yeah.
Matt Goulden. So Matt Goulden to me, I met Matt. It was like early 2000s, and it was in Next Generation MMA, because we were all doing MMA at the time, and Matt was a fucking great fighter. And he actually fought on the same show as me. I think it was like 2006 or 7 or something. And he took the fight short notice, and he beat the kid dead easy. And it was fucking strange, this, because when he got on the mic, he dedicated the fight to his mate who killed himself.
Took his own life.
Yeah, he took his own life. And I never forget it, because he had like, the way he spoke on the mic was like, he had like pure confidence, Matt. He was one of these type of hippie people. He was fucking lovely fella. And so what happened was, he ended up getting off. He fucked off to Thailand. And he come back like a few years later, this fucking like Thai boxing guru, because he wasn't really a stand-up fighter, he was more a ground fighter.
Yeah.
He's very good on the floor. And he come back and he was like, oh, he doesn't do MMA no more, it's just pure Thai boxing. And then what happened was we got a gym. My mate James, he had a gym in Speak, and then Matt come down, and then we got this other gym called VO2, and I actually left my job in the council to run this gym for him, and I brought Matt in as a Thai boxing coach. So then I'd actually made my comeback in 2011, because obviously I had a break. Talk about that in a minute, but I had a break, and when I come back, Matt was actually training me. So he actually became my trainer, and we had this boss bond, and when my brother was filming and that, there's some conversations what he got on camera that, like, obviously, you know, because Matt ended up taking his own life in 2021. Fucking sad, mate. But we've actually got film of him.
Yeah, and I think that's what, you know, we'll speak about. There was your documentary, which is obviously still filming. I think your Matthew's still filming, and we'll get onto that in a bit, but I can see, like, you know, how close she was and stuff, and we spoke about it, and I remember you speaking on that. I thought to myself, you know, should I bring it up or should I not?
You know what? It was such a shock, because the thing about it, right, was like, if you knew him, he weren't that type of person. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't that type of, like, I am. You know, like, I'm dead fucking passionate, me. I'm dead, I'm fucking, if you've got a problem, you fucking know it, you know what I mean? But
you don't
with him, he was like a hippie.
Yeah.
He was like dead mellow. He was like, you know, he didn't give a fuck about money. He didn't give a fuck about watches and cars and shit. He'd walk home from the gym. He wasn't asked, as long as he had money to feed his kids. So when it happened, I was just in shock, mate. I was just in fucking shock. And, like, I still can't believe it. It's fucking mad. But when I found out certain things that happened, I get it, because it happened to me. Because I had a breakdown in 2009. So when I was 30, obviously, like, going through all the fighting, back to, like, my fucking training days, the reason why I didn't reach my potential, because I was going out and partying and getting up to it, you know what I mean? And like, although I was still training, I was burning a candle at both ends.
And in that game, you can't fucking do that, you know.
So what I was doing, I got my last fight for Carbon, I got a draw, and Colin said, you fucking lost that. And then I remember sitting next to him, and we were backstage, and he just looked at me and said, what the fuck happened, like? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm thinking, like, I was out all the time. You know what I mean? I was going out to the fucking Wonder Bar and everything till 2 in the morning.
Going out. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I was going out to all these Heart of the Moon and all these places because, like, I was popular. Yeah. I was like, you know what I mean? I was quite popular back in that time, and I didn't want to miss anything.
You thought you were missing out? That's what staying in and dedicating to training and stuff like that.
So even when I was going out to work taking it, I was still staying out late. You were still late nights and stuff that I shouldn't have been doing.
All the shit that comes with it as well.
Yeah, it was just, that's what I mean. I wasn't living the life. And that was, it just caught up with me. And then in the end, you know, in 2009, I'll never forget it, because I just turned 30 and I had a fucking massive breakdown. And, like,
it was not just a fucking what's the name of everything. Just...
Yeah, well, you know, I was taking drugs, I was selling drugs, I was fucking buying houses, I was working the doors, I was working in the gym, I was training, I was doing all these fucking things I shouldn't have been doing.
You fucking burning, you fucking...
Mate, I was fucking up the fucking wall, you know what I mean? I was just a million mile an hour, and I'd done that for years. I'd done that for fucking years. So I was always up to anything, anything to do with anything, I'd be fucking involved in it, you know what I mean? Because I didn't give a fuck. When I was in my 20s, my early 20s, especially when I turned 21, I was fucking round a bend, like, do you know what I mean? I was fucking doing whatever. I didn't give a fuck.
Didn't give a fuck. And probably as well, like you saying, going back to, like, having that figure there to say, listen,
that's what I mean.
Fucking raining in here.
And the more people would say when I was 21, the more I go, fucking leg it.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that I was, because, like, I can remember there was one of me boss, Collie Whitty, she was having a leaving do in Walton Sports Centre. And her son was Mick Whitty, fucking cracking boxing Mick. And I was meant to go down and sparring on the Monday. Now, this is like, say, the Friday night, sure it was a Friday.
And you were out.
Yeah, we were out, and everyone was like wanting to get on. He's like, I got a load of tablets, I'll go and get them. Didn't make it back, mate. I ripped my car off around Walton Golf Course. Went corkscrewed through mid-air, went through the golf course into a tree on the roof, climbed out, broke all my ribs, cracked my cheek.
I don't see the pictures of the car. How the fuck you got out that car? I don't know. That is unbelievable.
And then I woke up in hospital, collapsed, went into shock. I remember seeing all, like, these fast pictures going past of all my family, my bed, everything, my daughter, boom, 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 boom. And then just remember waking up and go to her bed, and there's my half fella talking to her, fucking busy. Lad, I just give him shit, lad, you know what I mean? Because he's like, you know, I've got a nephew who's a police, and I was like, oh, what the fuck are you doing here? Just give him loads. Because at that time,
you were
I didn't give a fuck, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it was just, I remember Joe Kidd, his half fella. So Joe Kidd's half fella, remember getting a phone call because my sister's fella played, I think it was like in a snooker team or a darts or pool team or something. And he said, come up and see this fella, you know what I mean? Because I didn't give a fuck about anyone, really didn't. And he was like, just want you to listen to him. And I went up there and seen him.
Was he old school? Well respected?
He was fucking
well respected, yeah.
The dad was fucking, I didn't know young Joe.
Yeah.
You know, I knew his sister Jane because I worked with him in the gym, but the dad was fucking sound. He was like, he just said the right things. He was like, look, you know, you need to chill out, calm down a bit, you know what I mean? And like, I used to go up to his pub now and again just to stay out the way because like obviously we're from the South End and they're like the pub, the view is in like the North End. So when I go up there, it was like no one knew me. So it was fucking great. So like, and he always treated me dead sound, yo. But I remember him saying to me, he called me the Captain of Our Lives because I was always getting into shit. I was always like, you know,
when you gonna fucking pack this in and all that and just...
Yeah, we were like fighting outside the Wonder Bar, we were in there, and you know, lad ended up getting his neck fucking broke, you know what I mean? And we ended up in like fucking Section 18s and all that type of shit.
Nothing at jail and everything, and everything, you know, it's everything that comes with it.
Yeah, it was fucking, and I was just in and around everything that was going on, and it was like...
At that age as well, like you said, it's just something that's gonna... You feel that, you know, you've got to be part of it, or you feel like you're missing out.
You just didn't want to miss out on stuff, do you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that happened, you know, there was always drama that went on, that, you know, in when we used to go out, there was always something that would happen, and it would always be fucking negative. There was nothing, you know, like, I remember times I'd be out with my mates, and next minute I'm on a tablet, and the next minute we're fucking scrapping. Do you know what I mean? And then, like, it was just, things were happening, it was just a crazy, crazy time in my life, but then, so I'd say from like the 21 to when I was 30, them like 9 years, they were like fucking crazy times for me. And then after I had that breakdown, as I say, that was a mix of like...
Was you into women with Sarah then? Wasn't
yeah.
How was she dealing with all this stuff?
Well, that's what I mean, because for years I put her through it, and in the end she just had enough. Do you know what I mean? So
did she get ultimatum like sort of?
No, that was part of the breakdown. Do you know what I mean? That was part of it. It was all to do with that as well. Do you know what I mean?
And you've got a little daughter. You've got a daughter at the time as well.
Yeah, loads of it had a part of it. I'd say when people say like, "Oh no, you know, I didn't have a breakdown," whatever, I did, but a lot of it was to do with the drugs as well. Do you know what I mean? It was and it was like a psychosis. There was things that was happening. It's mad, you know, because when I think back to it, it doesn't seem like it's me. Do you know what I mean? It seems like I'm telling the story for someone else because it's hard to put myself in the situation because it doesn't seem real because some of the stuff I was doing. I remember I was fucking... So yeah, I had this dream, right, that I went up to her Mars and booting the door on that, and he said, "They're phoning the police." I said, "Fucking phone them." And next minute, there's fucking busy. I'd phoned the house, wanting to speak to Martel. And the busy's on the phone, and he's like, "Look, John, you need to calm down." "Who the fuck's this?" And look, I used to work with you in the bats. It was a fella, I can't remember his name. But he was a lifeguard, get on this. He was a lifeguard. And I remembered him. I said, "Get round here now, you fat cunt, I'll fucking kill you." I've got in the garden, in my dream, in my undies, and I'm screaming. And in my garden, I had these stones, right? It was all stones, and I'm putting these stones everywhere in my fucking undies. And then, anyway, I wakes up. That was it. Fucking, that was my dream. We goes this counselling thing, my bed, and then goes on, and she went, "And he come round to my mum's and booted the door and all this, right?" And I was like, "What the fuck you on about?" I said, "I had a dream about that." "What the fucking dream? You fucking did. You come round, booted the door, we phoned the police, and it turns out he used to work with you, so he got it on the phone, he was talking to you. And then the neighbours said you were in the fucking road, and they were all terrified to come out and speak to me, because I'm like, that in the fucking garden. So I was going, "Come and get me down," and all that, right? I was around the fucking bend. I didn't know what was real and what was a dream. I remember going to Spain, right? Because she'd gone to Spain and my head had fell off, and I went out and seen her. And I was walking down the road and I was like, "Am I here? Is this here or am I dreaming?" I didn't know what was real. I was like, I was fucking gone, lad. I was gone. I didn't have a fucking mate. I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. I was fucking down the bend. The doctor put me on these fucking these tablets, Fantasic, told me they were sleeping tablets. And then I found out they were like the strongest fucking antidepressants or something, do you know what I mean? But I've never been like a depressing person, do you know what I mean? It was just, I put it down to like drugs and doing too many things. I wanted everything.
Yeah.
I wanted everything, do you know what I mean? I wanted money, I wanted cars, I wanted everything. Everything you can think of, I wanted it. And don't get me wrong, I'd work for it. I wasn't like one of these fucking lazy cunts, you know what I mean? I was working fucking every job you can fucking think of. If I weren't in the gym, I was working on the house. If I weren't working on the house, I was working on the doors. If I weren't working that, I was doing fucking criminal shit.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Not asked. My kids were having a better life than what I had. Do you know what I mean? And anything I had to do, I was going to fucking do it. And I did.
And then it pushed you to...
And then it just pushed me too far. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because come on with that, you know, just acting a fucking dickhead. And it's like, that's like, after I got over the breakdown, which took me about a year, you know, I was off work for fucking time. I was like,
good days, bad days.
Mate, hey, so I'd sit there and think like, fucking sound. Phone the doctor, I want to see you now. Go down and see my doctor. I said, sign me back to work now. John, you're not ready. Sign me back to work. I'm going back to work. I'm not taking them fucking pills. I'm going back to work. You're not ready. Look, sign me back now. Sign me back. Goes into work. Puts the thing in. And I never forget, I turned round. Someone put their hand on my shoulder. Said, good to see you, John. Fucking ran in my car, started crying my eyes out. I can't go back. But I told you, just go home, relax. Just go home, relax. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me, lad? I was like, what's going on? Why am I not normal? It was fucking horrible. But like, when I look back now, I can't see how I could ever be that person. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. I think like, obviously, not hanging around with the people I was hanging around with, doing all the shit what I was doing, and obviously taking drugs, you know what I mean? That was like one of the biggest fucking mistakes I did. But it's crazy even thinking of some of the things, you know, like how I was, because I was an emotional wreck, lad. Do you know what I mean?
But that's the thing now. I think a lot of men and women, I think they struggle with like trying to come to terms with that. There is a problem there, you know, and stuff like that, and people don't want to speak out, or it pushes them to, and they think, I can't speak to no one, I can't do this, and everyone's got emotions, and I just think, you know, someone like yourself who's, you know, you've been there, you know, you say drugs played a big part, and I think in today's society, drugs plays a big part in a lot of people's lives, you know, they think it's the norm, it's the fucking, and then you see a lot of people fucking, you know, taking their own lives, mental health, you know, they're fucking, you know, they're out drinking, fucking, you know, maybe it's what's the coping mechanism for...
I think that's what it is, to be fair. It's like, you know...
Is it a coping mechanism?
A lot of people
say it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have got like lives like us, and then they use ale and smoking weed or taking drugs as just a way of like just getting through it rather than dealing with emotions and dealing with problems. Because I see loads of people now, and they're doing all these things about like, you know, opening up and speaking and fucking hugging and doing all that. And I'm in a way, I'm a man's man, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not one to do all that shit, but I do get it, and I do think like, you know, going on walks and talks, I love all that. But I think some go a little bit too far for me. Yeah. I know what works for me. I'm not saying that works for them. That's why I don't. What I say to people, for me, I say like everyone's different. This is just how I cope with it. Like like people who do don't take drugs. I haven't took drugs for 365 days, 24 hours, 36 minutes and 25 seconds. I wouldn't say nothing like that, because in my mind, in my head, that's like putting a fucking time bomb in my fucking brain, lad. And like, I'm ready to fucking snap. And if you tell me not to take nothing, I'll take it just to fucking
piss you off. Yeah, you don't tell me, but
yeah. And when I'm the same like that. So when people go, I haven't took drugs for 2 years, I'm like, well, good for you. But for me, I think, if I said that, I'm going to get on tomorrow. Well, no, I'll get on tonight. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that to me is just like, you're putting a time on it. Yeah. And that's ticking. So I don't do that. I just take each day as it comes and try not to put myself in bad situations.
Yeah.
So like, I wouldn't say I haven't touched it for 3 weeks. I haven't touched it for 3 months. I just take it like, what are we doing tonight? Who's going? Okay.
It's like you circle you're in with and all that. And
do you know what I mean? That's what it is for me. That's what works for me. It works for me like that. I'm just careful who I've got in my circle. Because as soon as if I'm out and we're all having a bevy or whatever, and as soon as I see him go to the toilet, I'm thinking, I'm out of here, lad.
Because you know,
because I know where it's going to lead.
And that's the thing where, you know, it's good to hear that. You can say that because a lot of people don't like to say what you say. You know, it's the fucking truth. You know, if you're you're out with them, whatever, and if they're on the ale and they're on the shite, or, you know, they have a smoke or whatever. I know everyone's different, and I'm not a hypocrite, you know what I mean? I'm not fucking saying, you know,
I like
myself,
it, I like it, baby. I'm not one of these who goes you can't, don't drink, don't take drugs, don't smoke, don't do it. Listen, whatever floats your boat, mate. I like a bevy. Yeah. No, I'm not a fucking alcoholic, do you know what I mean? But I like a bevy. Yeah. Just because I like a bevy doesn't mean I'll have Charlie or I'll start nicking tablets or I'll start smoking ciggies. I like a bevy, mate. Some people go, yeah, but as soon as I have a bevy, I've got to have a line. And I'm not like that, mate. I like having a bevy. Yeah. You know, but I won't be around people who have Charlie because I know sooner or later I could slip up. So I don't want him because I don't want to have it. So I just don't want to be around it. I just think like I want to be a goes downhill. Yeah. You know, I want people who are on my level. So, you know, I do make a thing of not being around people who take drugs because it could happen. It's easily done though, isn't it? It's like, you know, a million times I'll be home in 5 minutes, fucking hell, like 3 days later. So like I don't put myself because all the times in my 20s when I say to me bed, yeah, I'll be home in 2 hours or whatever. And I wouldn't say no, I wouldn't come back. I genuinely was coming home in 2 hours, but the wrong person was there who had something, and I was easily led. And then once something got it, mate, that's it, mate, party boy, mate. You're all in, you're all in or not, aren't you? You feel like you're missing out, like you're saying, you feel like you're missing out. Done it myself, fucking go in the match and just, I'd be home in a minute, and I just thought that I just couldn't break away because I thought I was missing out, and I'd just be like, definitely. And you know, the ale and the shit that comes with it, and you're thinking, and the next day you're getting home a fucking day late, and you're thinking, what the fuck was that? Yeah, why the fuck did I do that, lad? And at the time, it's like, because you're on a fucking another level, you're either on the ale or the shit or whatever. Well, that's as well, right? Because when we were in our 20s, there was a group of us, and like, we were all getting up to no good. So it was like, if you weren't there, you missed out on something. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, we won't mention people's names or anything, but it was like, you know, I had a few mates who were into certain things and whatever. And it was like, sometimes you turn up and like, your mates to get put onto something. And I was like, fucking, I didn't go that night. Fucking, I fucking missed out there. I could have got on that. And there was loads of little things like that. Or if my mate didn't turn up and we got onto something and then he'd miss it or whatever, and it was like that thing that you just didn't want to miss. Sometimes you almost missing out on anything, but you just didn't want to miss anything at all, just in case you did, you know what I mean? Or so it was like, it was just like a fucking, it was a fucking crazy time, lad, but something that I fucking do regret, you know what I mean? And I wish I would have like not went down that road, because I think like obviously my fighting could have done fucking 10 times. You could have gone to another, you know. Well, a lot of people spoke high. They said, you know, yourself could have gone on to, you know, if you were more, like you said, you started a bit later than everybody else. I think I did start late, but I caught everyone off very, very quick. And then with that, come the fucking partying again. And then that just fucking drove me back into that. It's been dragged back in, haven't you? So that was like one of my things. When I come back after the breakdown, I got back in touch with Alan Kaufman and his gym at Fortitude, and I never had any fucking dreams of fighting again. I just wanted to get back fit, and it was the only thing that I loved. And I thought, I could just get back into training. And as soon as it turned up, did you have the bug? No, not really. He come over and give me the confidence. He was like, look, you need to sort your shit out, lad, lose a bit of weight and we'll get you back in fighting. I was like, fuck, you know what I mean? I just want to fucking train a bit, mate, slow down, man, you know what I mean? And he's like, no, you got it, you know, you could do something here. So then the more I was thinking about it, I thought, maybe I could give it another go. And like, so I come back and I had a good comeback fight, and then it was on the cards then to fight the area title. But then what flashed back in my mind was I was meant to fight for the title when I was 21. Now, my last fight for Carbon Colin said to me before you go out, he went, win this fight, your next fight for the area title. So we're always stuck in my head that I should have been fighting for that title when I was 21. Now I was like 31.
10 years.
And I thought 10 years of fucking arsing around and all this shit that I've gone through. I'm finally fighting for this fucking title. So my dreams of was just that Northwest title. That's all I wanted, that Northwest area title. A good one though, not a Mickey Mouse one.
Yeah,
it had to be a good one, you know what I mean? So
what's the difference in the titles if you don't...
Well, because you've got loads of different Mickey Mouse, you know, people doing different organisations and stuff like that. So to me, the ISKA was the best. Do you know what I mean?
That's the one you wanted.
To me, that was like the WBC in boxing. Do you know what I mean? That was my thing. The ISKA was the biggest organisation. It was the most recognised at that time. It probably still is now, to be fair. I don't know. But so that was the one I wanted to fight for. And it just so happened that was the one I was fighting for. And then obviously I went in and I won it. But before that, I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I thought, this is like got something to it. It's more to it, you know, like me the story, all the shit what I've got up to and all the shit what I've been through. And then, so I was speaking to my brother, who was obviously doing fucking filming for MTV and stuff. And I told him, and he was the one who said to me, he was like, fucking mad this, because you've always been fighting demons. And I'd be like, it choked me. And I was like, fucking hell. Because he was like, you've always had something, and rather than talking, you've always just got into fighting and just talking out.
That's the way you could deal with it instead of trying to...
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably similar ways me after I took it out. Don't fucking me, do you know what I mean? But I took it out on other people, do you know what I mean? But that's
only probably through what you've had to deal with. Yeah. That's how you fought. That's how you cope. That's how you deal with situations.
Well, I think that's what it was. It was fighting and taking drugs. They were my escapes. Do you know what I mean? They were my fucking go-tos, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if when I was training, I had that like sort of aggression where like I loved just that feeling of just letting go, and also taking it. I didn't mind taking a fucking hard, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like it was a bit.
For most fighters who like talk about it, they like getting punched in the fucking face.
It's a weird thing. It's mad this, because when I was younger, I used to love having a fucking tear up. I used to love coming on black and blue and fucking, you know,
you got a big shine and all the fucking brass.
As I got older, it started changing. Do you know what I mean? That's why me fights...
I don't get it.
Me fights were boring because I just wanted to win and not get hit. I was more of a boxer, you know what I mean? Like more than a fighter. It's like when I was younger, you know, your cheek broke, I got loads of fucking injuries, and I was
more of a brawler.
We just loved getting stuck in. And as I got older, I was more like sort of technical, and especially with having the break, I was more like just fiddling my way through. I knew how to like fiddle my way through each round and just do enough to win, and you know, like I was more experienced. But yeah, in like me earlier fights, like I loved the tear up, and I think that was just the fighter in me. I just wanted to impress the crowd, win or lose. I mean, I didn't really lose many, but in fact, I didn't lose any tie. I had one draw. Boxing, I had mixed results. I got robbed in that a few times, but kickboxing I'd done all right as well. And MMA, I think it was like 1-1 or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
so you had a decent, pretty fucking good
record. I mean, out of 20 fights, I only lost a couple. Do you know what I mean? But with Thai boxing, I had like, I probably had about a 7 pro. 1-6, draw 1. And I had loads of interclubs and loads of like sort of amateur type stuff. Do you know what I mean? And they were probably harder than any of the fucking pro stuff, do you know what I mean?
A lot of the pros who were involved in like boxing, whatever they say, a lot of the amateur fights would suffer than some of the fucking pro fights.
Yeah, not half. I mean, I'd say like the sparring into clubs and amateur stuff was well more, because, you know, half the time you're fighting some kid who's probably fighting in front of his nan and granddad and that, you know what I mean? And that's his little fucking claim to fame, is fucking having a tear up with you know what I mean? Why? Because you do that type of fight just to stay warm or whatever, do you know what I mean? And you'd end up in fucking wars, you know what I mean? Especially when you've got like, if you're having like amateur Thai or interclubs or whatever, you're wearing shinnies and bigger gloves and stuff like that. And, you know, when you're fighting bare shin, you got to be careful. You got to be more precise where you're kicking. And when you've got shinnies, you're just fucking kicking anything. You don't give a fuck because you've got the protection. So it's like you end up in a fucking war. It's where when you haven't got to, if I block your, you know, I can break your leg.
Your leg will snap,
easy. Like I used to break my little toe all the time. And that's what I found. I mean, I got my teeth broke with it. some lad was trying to get me with a spinning back fist, and I sort of rushed into him, caught me with the elbow, broke my fucking cheek. And I won the fight. And then forget it, because after it, I went out. And I went to the toilet because I had like blood in my nose. It blew my nose. And when I looked up, my fucking cheek was out there and my eye was shut. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that wasn't there before. I went outside and whoa, fucking hell, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, the worst thing you can do is blow your nose. And yeah, my fucking cheek was broken. Fucking all my cheek come out.
You blew your nose and pushed out to close your eyes.
Because I looked there and everything was fucking sound. And then when I fucking blew it up, come out and went, oh my God, what the fuck? But yeah, it was crazy. But I had a good time fighting, you know what I mean? It was just like, obviously didn't get what you know, I should have got, but I think in the end, it all come good because it was the right time for me to retire. My body had been through a lot. Yeah. Because, you know, I pushed it partying, I pushed it through all the training and what I done.
You put your body through everything and stuff.
When I was doing these fight camps, my back kept going. So, like, I was going into fights and, like, say if I'd done, like, an 8-week camp, I could be in bed for 3 weeks a bit. You know what I mean? Like, my back was proper gone. And, like, I've had all tests done and I've got L3, L4 and L5 are all prolapsed. The amount of injuries I've got, it's just fucking unreal. Tore that one. Got caught in an arm bar. Tore that one. Sparring, boxing. I've got loads of injuries and riddled in them. So, like, I've had loads and loads of operations, hernia in the belly, hernia in the groin, fucking millions, you know what I mean, just building them. So it was creeping up on me, and it was getting harder and harder to do these camps.
Especially with all the fucking injuries you've had, by the sounds of it. And
I mean, I remember after I won that fight, the kid that I beat, he was from a gym in Southport, and the lad who done his corner was a guy called Kev Ward. Now, Kev Ward's a fucking amazing fighter. I don't know if he's still fighting now, he probably is. He was fucking amazing. And I started half thinking, like, fucking hell, I could call a fight with him, you know what I mean? And because he was like the British champion, but he wasn't only the British champion, he was like European fucking world, and he'd won every fucking world title and defended them millions of times. He was fucking phenomenal. And he was like Tony Moran, he was dead fucking tall.
Yeah.
But he could fucking fight this fella, and he made like, I thought, oh, well, I get on the inside. He could fight on the inside, this fella, and I thought, you fucked on the outside, you fucked on the inside, just retire, lads, call it a day. And but I thought, should I push it for one more? And then I thought, I would have lost to him. You know what I mean? He was too active. He was at a fucking amazing level.
Levels.
He was at a really good level. So I thought, you know, what do I do? Go in and just say, well, at least you fought for it. I wanted to go in and win it. So that was one of the things where I thought, just retire with what you've got. Because the titles that would have led on would have been like sort of going on to because he had I think it was like the ISK British. I'm sure it was him. Because I remember thinking, like, fucking hell, but I thought, he hasn't just got that. Because in boxing, when you move on, you relinquish them, don't you?
Yeah.
But in Thai, it wasn't like that. So
he kept all of
them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like, you know, if you wanted the European, you had to fight him. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was a bit thing, so it was a bit of a step too far. Yeah. So I was happy with what I'd done. Because I thought, not only that, I don't know if I could have done a fight camp. Because I kept trying to do these little comebacks and
did you stop fucking step backs and stuff, was you?
Yeah, I just like, I remember cutting this weight. I cut 10.6 kg for my last fight for that title. And it must have done something to me because I never recovered fully after it for ages. I kept like training and just being dead drained. So as soon as I train or I'd spar, after that I was fucked. I was really fucked. I mean, like, you know, and like not just tired, I mean like really tired. Like, I mean like proper exhausted, like fucking go home, go to sleep exhausted. So I must have done something to myself. I know it is called something, but that happened to me for about a year. I just kept getting
body's fucking trying to tell you it's fucking no longer.
Yeah, it was just fucking game over. And it was hard, really. It was a hard thing, but I'm sort of happy, you know. I went on a win and stuff. Yeah, because, you know, it's an hard sport as well, Thai boxing.
Is that how you got into? Because I know you do what you're doing in Aylwood and surrounding areas. Yeah. For fucking, no, not just fucking for the kids, the adults, you know, men and women. You know, the fitness club, the boxing club. Yeah. He's a fucking active mate. You know what I mean? I see like on your socials and stuff like that. You, your missus, and the people you've got around you. You know what you do for the area is fucking unbelievable. And I think you should be very proud of yourself, if I'm going to be honest, you know what I mean? I think your missus and that, what you do for, you know, your gym always, I see the videos, they're always look pretty full, the kids are enjoying themselves, they're learning respect, they're learning, you know, how to look after themselves and...
But they're doing everything what I didn't fucking do.
Well, that's...
You know what I mean? And that's one of the main things, is, and like, the reason for me talking, it's not to big up fucking being a fucking scally, a criminal, a drug dealer, anything like that, because I'm against all that. But you're saying there,
you've been there, you've done it, and you can tell them the fucking,
you know what I mean?
The truth in it, you know what I mean?
That's exactly why I'm doing these.
Look, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is, because I've got so many friends who killed themselves in jail. I've got mates who were in jail doing 20 odd years, my other mates doing 15. You know,
is that the road you want to, you know, you're giving that advice.
It's not a good, not even just to be a criminal or be a drug dealer, whatever, but even just to be on the other side taking them, because obviously, you know, the mental health side of it, you know, you just don't want to go there. And so the reason how I got into doing the clubs was because of the documentary. I wanted it done ASAP. So when we were doing the documentary, right, it was about me. Yeah, I wanted to show people how to stop taking drugs. That was my big thing, because I thought,
look where it's fucking set.
Yeah, I you know, I'd upset people, I'd piss people off, and I'd done things I shouldn't have, and stuff like that. And I finally sorted my head out, got back on the straight path. So when I said to our kid, and he was like, "You've always been doing this," and he was like, "You know, you've got a story here," and I was like, "Yeah." But it was about me though, more than anything.
Yeah.
It was still at my ego, because I was still fighting. So I wanted to just like sort of show people I was over it, and I made a comeback and I did it. Do you know what I mean? So what happened was, we done these promos, and it was a bit too fucking soon, because I thought this would have been done fucking years ago. Now, so I was saying to my Matty, do a promo, like, do a promo. And he was like, you know, we're not ready, but you done one anyway. And what happened off that? I got loads of people messaging me. Yeah. Loads of people. And this is where the documentary took a turn, and this is why it hasn't been finished, because if it would have been finished, it would have just been like one of these fucking, a bit of a cock off, you know what I mean? It was all about me. It's all about, you know, me coming through it, and me winning, me being this, you know what I mean? But
there's so many people really in it. There's so many people that you can involve into it, innit?
What it's really about, it's about like losing your ego, and the stuff what like, part of my story is like, it's totally helped people because of what's happened since that fight. So the amount of people I got messaging me, I ended up putting on these camps for like fucking, you know, ex-drug users, and I got them back into fighting, and, you know, so they conquered their demons, and then it just went on. And then it started like where we done like this white collar camp, like a fighting demons thing, raising money for this poor lad. He passed away before the fight happened, to be fair, but we still give the money to the family and the cause where they wanted. But again, it like sort of kept this like sort of thing going, and then I started becoming like a PT, doing like the personal training. Now, it wasn't all based on like, you know, people come with me and I'll get you off drugs or nothing like that. It just started like that, and we went on to like, well, how can someone's training the pros? It went from leaving the pros, I opened Airwood ABC.
Yeah.
But this all come off the fighting demons. And then I built a PT studio in the back of my house. So I had the Airwood ABC, where I'm getting the kids off the streets and into boxing, amateur boxing with my missus. And then I had the gym in the back of my house.
To do your PTs.
Where we used to do the PTs. Yeah. And then it got that busy that people thought I was grafting from the house, because they had that many people coming and going from the house. They were like, what's he fucking doing? So I was like, I need to fucking just get a gym here. But there was no gyms around, so that's why...
All premises, which you have to pay for the fucking roof, yeah.
So I ended up opening Sonetico, which is all boom, but it all really has come off the Fighting Demons promos, you know what I mean? Because that was what sort of set it all up. So it's like the story completely changed from from
being about you, like...
Yeah, because it was really just about me. Being honest, it was just more of an ego thing. Do you know what I mean? But then when I realised,
you know what I mean?
When so many people actually got in touch with me, they were saying like, "Oh, mate, I can't believe you've done this and all that." And I thought, well, wait there a minute. This is about me. Well, you know, I didn't want it to help you. I'm not asked about you. It's about me. You know what I mean? And then I thought, well, wait there a minute. And I looked at the bigger picture, and I was like, it made sense to me then.
How many people's lives fucking changed?
When we done it, it wasn't about like the way like this Tyson Fury goes on, like mental health and all that. Mine weren't like that. Mine was just like, I wanted to show people like, I fucking come back, I did it. Do you know what I mean? It was a bad man, I won the fucking title. Should have won it when I was 21, I won it now. But then when people actually messaged me and they were like, oh lad, that's so fucking powerful, and it's like, you know, you're helping me and it's doing this, and I was like, really? Me? I was like, what about how good I looked when I done this or like that, you know what I mean? That's what I faced, and then when I realised it's bigger than that, it was like people were looking at it differently to the way that I was meant it to look. So, and then I was like, what, wait there a minute.
This is going to be off the fucking scale.
It changed me. It changed my whole approach to me, and that's when like I started going, fucking hell, yeah. It is a bit different.
It probably made you feel good about yourself. With obviously you was at your ego at first, but then all of a sudden, look what you fucking doing. You're changing grown men and women's lives who like obviously had struggled problems where you've been there, where no one was there to, and they're looking to you to say, fucking hell, if this fella can do it, you know, he's been like a really good fighter, winning the from 10 years ago when he should have won it.
Yeah.
And look what he's done now. And even the kids of today's society, you know, there's fucking little, you know what I mean? Like, no respect, no whatever. When you go in boxing gyms, they didn't have Aylwood ABC, they wouldn't be fucking, what would they be doing? See,
Aylwood was shut for 16 years. There was no boxing club.
So the kids were either going to like Speak or Garston or whatever.
Well, I bought Gemini another ring. So, because they were extending their gym. Yeah. Gemini's fucking massive. And they were extending it. And I bought them another ring because the kids in Aylwood had nowhere to go. But what happened was, when they were coming down Wood End Avenue, I heard kids had been jumped on the bikes. I think they got the bikes robbed or something. But it wasn't kids from Speak. It was just because there's a McDonald's around Cross. I think the kids were cutting through.
Yeah.
And they just caught for these kids. And that was that. So that made me get off my arse then. And like say, I went round to the boys and said, look, is there any chance we can get this going again? And they were like, they were all for it. And Dawn and Mark helped us no end. And we got it off the ground. And my Uncle Paul helped us get it all set up and stuff like that. And then it's just gone from strength to strength because we're only a small club.
Yeah.
So my missus.
You've got some fucking good fighters though.
Yeah, I mean, not half. I mean, we've got Joe Myers. He got to the semi-final. Got beat by Preston Samba, who's 2-time national champion. Went on to be 3-time national champion. So Joe done fucking brilliant against him. We've got loads of boss kids. We've got another kid coming through now, Cole Gibson, cracking kid. We've got some really, really good boxers. For such a small club. I mean, even my missus is the secretary for England Boxing now. You know, a few years ago, we weren't doing this. We had our own thing, and now we haven't got no life, because of course we do. We just do this fucking amateur boxing. Yeah. And the stuff, but like I say, it's all come off that fighting demons. You know what I mean? It really has. It's like, you know, a few years ago, if you would have said to me, you're going to be given every night up to be an amateur coach, a voluntary coach, and not get no fucking money, I would have laughed at you. Do you know what I mean? If you would have said, you know, you're going to have like a gym and stuff like that.
That must feel to you when you're seeing the kids in the fucking semi-finals, or you see.
Mate, that's what I mean.
So you're getting that.
Do you know what? It's mad. You know, I was talking about to this to someone. We were talking about these guys on Instagram who look like, you know, these fancy pad holders, like all these fancy things, and I was like, you know, these cunts are getting paid fucking Brewsties, right? To like, you know, to do all these fancy pads, but they haven't got a fucking clue what it's like to give up day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year for these kids going up and down the fucking countries, giving up your weekends and everything for them. They haven't got a clue about that. They're just about like, you know, making things look good and getting paid. We do it for fucking free, lad. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, your family life just goes down the fucking pan. Everything does. I mean, if I'm not in the gym or at a boxing show or in my gym, you know, my missus is. She'll be at a show. She's at fucking 3-4 shows.
No, you've got a little son as well.
That's what I mean. It's hard. It's proper hard. You know what I mean? I'd be fucked if he doesn't want to box.
But I'm sure, like I say, you know what, you know, you should be proud of yourselves, if I'm going to be honest, because, you know, without that, you know, them kids and, you know, even adults, men and women should, you know, fucking, where would they be? You know what I mean? So I'd be very proud of yourselves, you know, and a lot of people I know speak highly of what you're doing in the area for Aylwood and stuff, you know, so, you know, pat yourself on the fucking back, mate, you know what I mean?
We have done loads, because there's no other boxing clubs there.
Yeah.
The closest one's Gemini. And even then, there's not many other clubs. There's only us and Gemini, like, around our area.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, you know, the pair of us were well, obviously, David speaking, and obviously us with Airwood, but, you know, I think that's what was needed in the community, was like a good boxing club.
That's it, in the community.
You know what I mean?
That's what communities need, and the fucking boxing clubs, youth clubs are fucking dying, you know what I mean? It's and these kids now, you know, when you get them in the clubs and stuff, and they've got something to aim for, and, you know, you're behind that, and, you know, like I say, you and your missus, fucking big pat on your back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what about family life? What was I going to get to? Fighting Demons, the podcast, and the documentary, but I know we've touched a little bit on it.
Do you know what? Again, it's the same again with the podcast. The podcast all come off the Fighting Demons.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with this Fighting Demons, I mean, it's like, my brother, we started filming with mobile phones. So we were in the gym, we had all like little, I think it was funny, you had these little railway stacks, but like an iPhone would go across and all that. We never had nothing. We never had a fucking clue, you know what I mean? And then we started getting more equipment. I was buying them like these cameras and then getting them more stuff. So it was like developing as we were going and stuff like that. And then, like I say, the story obviously changed because the amount of stuff that we've done, and then the amount of time was changed. And there's actually a guy on board now who's got like these other cameras. So they've been filming loads. I mean, they've been...
loads of content's going to be, you know, when you're building
loads. They filmed some, like, I don't want to say who they filmed, but they filmed some, like, world champions, UFC stuff, and fighters, and pro boxers. And it's all, like, sort of modernising it and up to date. So hopefully that when they put it together...
From the beginning, when it was on mobile phones to now, it'll be...
Yeah, there's loads of stuff. And hopefully it'll get picked up by one of these things. I don't know, like Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's what they're looking at. Whether it does or it doesn't, that's going to be the quality, because the quality back then of the stuff that we used wouldn't have been good enough. But if you're mixing it with the stuff that we've got now, in with all that as well,
then
it should be. But we'll just see, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if it does something fucking great, if it doesn't really matter, because we've already done stuff off it already.
Yeah.
So it's already
look at the kickback off it already.
That's what I'm saying. You know, for me to have my own gym, Synetico, to me to have my own boxing club, Airwood, you know, all the stuff what's already come off it, the Fighting Demons podcast, that was just another thing, because I realised that, like, sharing the story and then getting other people on to share their stories, like yourself.
Yeah.
I knew it would help other people. So, like, that was one of the big things. I was like, so it's already served its purpose, but it hasn't actually been seen. Do you know what I mean? Which is fucking weird, isn't it? So it's like this fucking myth that, like, everyone talks about, but no one's fucking seen it.
When's it happening?
Mate, I still look, because the amount of stuff that I've done for fighters in the past, so I'd say, like, from, like, around 2012 up to really present, I've helped loads and loads and loads of fighters, from, like, cage fighters, Thai boxers, amateur and pro boxers. So every now and again, you'll see something pop up, like a t-shirt with Fighting Demons on it, or you'll go to it, like a gym, and you'll see Fighting Demons, or you might go somewhere and see it on the cage, or you might see something like exclusive or something like that, where like Derry Matthews has sponsored Derry, you know what I mean? I sponsored loads of fighters. And it was just because I thought it was going to be out a long time ago, but it still served its purpose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like the amount of stuff what's come off it.
Imagine it would have went out though. And look where, you know, now the gym, the fucking...
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's weird, because it was mad. When we were filming, right, that's why I say, right, it was like the never-ending story, because we started off where they basically filmed me for 3 or 4 months, all the training for the fight, and then after the fight. And then I went to Thailand. And when I went to Thailand, that's when I knew I was retiring, because I was thinking all these thoughts about coming back and maybe fighting again and stuff like that. And I thought, nah, I've had enough. When I come back, I went into, like, the pro boxing. So then that carried it on there, because it was like, well, this is what you're doing now, you're saying in the pros. And then I left that, and then I went into, like, the amateur stuff, and it was like, well, now we're doing that. And it was like a continuous thing, what's added to the story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then So it was like this thing that like started in 2012 or the end of 2012, carried right on until like 2016, maybe 17.
Yeah.
Like the filming side of it. So it was like, and then it was like hard to look at it and try and bring it in and go, right, how do you get all this and put it together, because the amount of time had passed. Do you know what I mean? So that's when this other guys come on board, they've done all this filming, and then what they're in the middle of doing now is just transferring all these fucking files so that they can get it all into like a thing and streamline it and then
put it all together,
then edit it. So it'll all come up, but there's fucking loads and loads
of content,
loads. I mean, he's been to fucking Iceland and everything, and like, you know what I mean? He's got like loads and loads of fucking footage to go in, so it should be good. Like some of the stuff that we filmed, and we were filming a few weeks ago. I went to my ma's old address. I'm fucking standing outside my ma's, like, fucking neighbours, like, who the fuck's this guy? Do you know what I mean? Someone come down, I thought, I'm knocking someone out here, do you know what I mean? And then, like, when someone come down, excuse me, and I was like, yeah, I used to live here, and once I said the name, and all that. So I thought, oh, lad, what are you doing? Because, like, my brother's like, he doesn't get it, you know what I mean? He's like, no, we'll just film, we're doing this, but I feel awkward, because I'm not an actor. So, like, I'm just stand there on, like, my gateway, like, I grew up, do you know what I mean? It feels fucking weird as fuck. He's like, just look over at the house, people are looking out, lads, you know what I mean? I'm not comfortable. If you come out and end up knocking them out, you'll fucking, I'll give you something to film in a minute. It's like, fucking hell. But when it comes out, fingers crossed it does well.
Fingers crossed, like, hopefully
good, like.
So, family life, what's it like? You know, with your missus, your daughter, your son,
I mean, yeah.
Granddaughter as well, haven't you?
Family like fucking boss, mate, to be fair. I'd say like, since I retired, obviously, because like, we just got back together, like, and we weren't together when I was doing the fighting. So like, because we'd split up, and then it was like late 2013, I'd say. We ended up sort of getting back together. And obviously it took a few years, do you know what I mean? Obviously to like get back in and bond and do whatever again. But I'd say like now we've moved and like moved into a new house and fucking hell, every day I wake up with a smile on my face, do you know what I mean? I've got like my little lad there, you know, my daughter, my granddaughter. Life's fucking boss, to be honest, mate. I think like living like a clean life, you know what I mean? Where like, you know, I'm just enjoying it and like I'm being present. Because like I think when you're out and you're with the lads or whatever and you're partying, doing whatever, it's after it for me. It wasn't like sort of the things what you do when you party. Mine was more after it, being a narky cunt. You know what I mean? Like, you know, taking it out on like your kids or whatever and just being
your missus, just like fucking...
Do you know what I mean? Just being a bit of a fucking selfish cunt, you know what I mean? I think like that for me was more, it was the after. Rather than like, no, not just being a fucking divvy and fucking staying out. It was more like that. They're like after, because you're always fucked for like fucking 2 weeks. I've got like fucking Tourette's, mate, when I'm being out. I'm like in the car fucking arguing to myself and people phoning me saying, was that you just talking to yourself in the car? I'm like, no, what are you on about? Like I'm sitting in the car and like, fucking do what I want. Fuck what do you mean? People are talking, that's going, you alright? Honestly, I've got like fucking drug-induced fucking Tourette's or something, you know what I mean? Like fucking arguing with myself in the car, you know what I mean? Fucking hell. But so yeah, I don't miss any of that. So like,
so family life's good.
Family life fucking boss, mate. Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, and what's in the pipeline for you now? What's like what, you know, obviously going forward and stuff like that.
Well, the gym's booming. We just had someone else come into the gym, and he's basically flying in the gym. Took a big sort of weight of the gym off me. You know what I mean? So that's like sort of making the gym easier for me to
you're not juggling so many fucking
because I had like a few PTs in there and then I'd run like a white collar camp for Steve Keogh, this ultimate white collar. That'll be coming to an end on the 3rd. So
did you use the gym? What do you
they use the gym, they pay me to use the gym and then I help do the coaching and help them on the night out the corner. It's not my show, it's nothing to do with me on that. They just use my gym, but I help and coach the fighters for it. And then after that's finished, there'll be like 3 months then where they don't do anything. So I've just had another PT come in now, and like they're taking a big weight to that off because I was going to have to do a boot camp on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which meant I wouldn't be able to go into the boxing club.
Yeah.
So now it's made it easier now so I can go back to the boxing club because obviously Halewood ABC is a total separate place to Synetico. Synetico is a total different building.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that's what I wanted because I didn't want them collide. Because Synetico is where I make money and Halewood is like voluntary. So they don't work. You know, you couldn't be a PT out of Halewood, it wouldn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's basically...
You don't start taking that away from the gym. Yeah.
I mean, even when my boxers come over to the gym, I don't charge them. Do you know what I mean? Never have, I never would. I've got a PT in my gym now who used to box for me. I've never charged him, he works there for free. And that's what I said to all of them. Do you know what I mean? If they ever want to go down that route of being a PT, I'll support them because it's just part of what we do. Do you know what I mean?
It's fucking good what you do. Like, you know, it's like I said before, you should be very proud, and it's good that you can offer.
That's what I mean. That's part of like one of the things. What I always wanted to like give kids an opportunity, what I never had.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So obviously we teach them how to box, and then they to go out boxing, and if they want to get into being a PT or a boxing based PT, I'll fully support them in that. Do you know what I mean? And if I can help them by like, you know, not charging them a rent, then that's what'll happen.
Yeah.
And I'll do that for all of them. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the good thing about the gym because, you know, they look after it. Like, when I say don't charge them, the likes of Alex, he'll help me run the gym. So he's like, when I do my boxing boot camps, he'll help me pad the other people and stuff like that. He's there for me, you know what I mean? He supports me, and like, which pays for the gym. And then he does his own classes in there. He does his own kids boxing, he does his own PTs and stuff like that. He's a boss kid, you know what I mean? And I've got another kid who's saying when he leaves school he wants to do the same. Listen, you know, the gym could be for them. They can fucking have it. Do you know what I mean? As long as you know, to keep it going.
Yeah.
That's all. I never set the gym up to be a millionaire. I'm not asked. You know what I mean? It's just like, as long as it pays for itself, I'm all.
But you're helping, you know, people as well, and
it keeps them off the streets. My main thing, right, was keeping kids off the streets, not going down that criminal way. See me, right? People have asked me before, because when I went into amateur boxing, I was going in the novices. Obviously, Tony Bellew was going in.
Yeah.
I didn't go in them because I crashed my car. Yeah. He knocked everyone out. The next year, I got a hernia up, so I didn't go in again. So I seen him go the right way. I went the wrong way. Yeah. Now there's no fucking things about it, but that's what happened. So that's where I don't want the kids to go the wrong way. So I'm giving them an opportunity not to. I'm not just saying stick with boxing and you'll be a champion, because you won't. Odds are, you know. But you can be a PT. I can teach you how to make money legitimately.
Yeah. But if you pursue it, or maybe, you know, when you dedicate away, like you're saying, if I went down that route, you know what I mean? And
I just know, for me, right, I never had them things of like, you know, if you say to people, right, like, you know, you're going to be like, you know, a world champion, or you're going to do this. When you get a bit of a knock, especially nowadays, it's a bit different to when we were fighting. But I think nowadays everyone wants to be a pro, everyone wants to be a world champion. People forget about the hard work.
Yeah.
People forget about the sacrifices. People forget about all.
You just think it's going to happen overnight.
Yeah. They're posting a few videos on Instagram. They're a celebrity, and you know, that's it. They've done it. It's like, fucking hell. So that's why I'm more real with them. I'm more like saying, look, it can happen, but if you get a knock, it is what it is. Don't worry about it.
You don't dangle the carrots. I think with yourself, you're very honest. You're very,
yeah, but that's why.
That's the best way.
That's why I just say to them, no, if they want to work, I'll help them. Because they love boxing, but sometimes they don't want to box. Sometimes, so with Alex, it's his choice. So with me, it wasn't a choice, because I'll still box now for good. You know what I mean? Like, I was meant to box Corny Fry a couple of years ago, just before I opened the gym. And again, we fucking back kept giving up, but I was lucky because they called me in for the hernia. So probably lucky I didn't get a fucking eye drop. I was winding him up to fuck. I had him wound up to be phone going, geezer, like, fuck off. Because I can fucking, lad, if social media was around when I was fighting, I'd be a millionaire, because I can fucking sell it, lad. I can sell it.
People to
mate, proper. And But that's why with Alex, it was a conscious choice. He didn't want to box. He was like, John, I'm struggling. When I come home, struggling eating chicken and rice. When my family are having a takeaway, I'll be honest. He's going into
dieting and stuff like that.
So he was like, I just want to do PT for now. And I was like, well, look, it's there for you. You want to do it, do it. Do you know what I mean? He's got his own key, does what he wants. He does as he pleases. And he's a fucking lovely kid. So that's why I thought, if any of the kids wanted that, then it's there for them. Because sometimes when they don't want to box, you think that's it. And I was like, no, it's not. You can still be involved. You don't need to be an amateur boxing coach. You can go in the other gym and earn a few pennies for yourself or whatever.
There's another option there for you.
No, rather than like, I'm not saying all kids are like me because they're not. But it is that like sort of way where you can go that way or that way.
Yeah.
And the likes of Tony, he stuck with the boxing and he fucking smashed it and fucking made up. He's fucking absolutely made up for him, do you know what I mean? But mine was like sort of, I didn't have someone saying, well, you can work in my gym. You know what I mean? So I went the other way and I went right in. So it was like, that's why I thought rather than kids, I'll just take that away from them and just say, look, you can come in. Because I've had kids do that. I've had kids go the wrong way. You know what I mean? And start taking drugs and start selling them and stuff like that. And you've lost them. And that's to me, it's like, that hurts more than like fucking, than anything. Because I feel like I've done that. I feel like it's my fault. You know what I mean? I remember there was another kid as well. I remember when we opened the gym, we weren't affiliated. And this kid was coming all the time, boom, 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 all the time. And we weren't ready to have boxing. And he ended up going on the other side. He started smoking and stopped going, and that was it. Then he's lost, and I still see him now. He's a boss kid. And I always think if we would have had that gym when he would start boxing, he might not have went down.
He could have went that little bit further, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I had loads of people talking about him, and just a shame, like so. Certain kids will stand out to you, and you just think, bastard, slip through the net.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, slip through the net, and that's like a hard pill. You know what I mean? But other than that, on the whole, it seems fine. Long may it continue.
Well done. I just want to say, John, fucking hell, mate, that was an unbelievable story, mate, and I just want to thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Anytime, mate.
Thanks very much.
No worries, mate.
With Tony Morell.